Hey, what's up, guys? Got another new video for you. My name is Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
I'm done.
I'm Tony. I didn't know the order that we were going in. I thought
Hey.
there was a specific order.
That leads me
Freestyle.
exactly.
Right.
That leads me into our first point, which is we have a new individual member on Tuned In Sports. This is our good friend Tony here, and so he will be. Well, hopefully in more videos moving forward. We'll
Hopefully.
see scheduling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, but he wanted to join us for this Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. review. And boy, what a way to bring him onto the channel with this show. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to watch the actual boxing part of the card because we were having issues. Technical difficulties. We couldn't get it to play.
It's cold out here.
We couldn't get it to play, but thank God it finally came around in time for that YG concert.
No, that
Best
was,
part of the
that was
whole
terrible.
thing.
That was terrible.
Yeah. We could just tighten that up a little bit.
see.
No, the star of the day was the St. John concert.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're not there yet.
Oh.
Hold on. We're
Let's
still
see.
getting into the glory days here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Let's get
exactly.
into the glory days.
Exactly. We're talking Big Bank. So with
Big Bank.
with Big,
Big
I mean, not Big Sean. I don't know what I'm talking about. YG, you know, he did his thing. Couldn't understand him. So woohoo, good job. Then we got into the first fight that, well, if you want to call it that we got to watch, which was
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul and Nate Robinson. Man, you know, in the preview, I had mentioned a few things about how I really felt like having this fight on here was just so bad for so many reasons. You know, boxing is a sport that's supposed to be taken seriously, and I feel like having those guys on there was really a joke. And I thought it really just took
It was showing in the fight.
well, yeah, that's not even about the fight. I'm talking about in the preview. Just seeing them on there on a card is like, are you kidding me? I mean, it just tells me that you don't need to spend your life working hard to box to do it anymore. They're just like, oh, you got a YouTube channel? Come on down. Oh, okay. You played in the NBA? Whatever. Who cares?
I honestly thought that they were gonna come in, and especially Jake, like during like his little run up, I thought he would just be vlogging the whole thing.
For real. I mean, it's a clown show, and any amount of taking this seriously that was supposed to be happening was completely gone, especially after that fight. And honestly, I think it carried into the main event too, because after watching that, whatever, you're
hot
just
mess.
like, yeah, after watching that, you're like, oh, great, now we get to watch these two old guys fight. And that just completely diminished the whole thing. Honestly, it kind of ruined the thing for me. I thought it was horrible. I mean, you can say what you want about the final and what that ended up being. I mean, obviously it wasn't a great skill set showing, but I thought that the co-main was so bad that it was just pathetic. I mean, I really did not like it at all. I did not.
I love the one part I'll say I did like about the co-main was you know, the little troll at the beginning when Jake came out to the basketball song.
That was amazing.
By Bow Wow.
That was
Like,
pretty funny.
That was funny.
And then Nate's style of boxing was just, what kind of boxing was it?
That was some bull
He was
boxing.
like this.
That was bull boxing.
Yeah, basically
Straight headbutting.
trying to headbutt.
It reminded me of Ram Man.
You know?
But that kind of just told us though that ultimately he shouldn't have even been in the ring in the first place.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna
So-
get all types of hate for it, but I actually enjoyed that fight more than the actual whole Tyson fight. I did. They actually looked like they were into it and not just sparring.
Fair.
People
That's
are gonna
fair.
kill
That's
me.
fair.
For
No, that's fair.
At least Nate did wear the right colors. I mean, he looked like the New York Knicks out there.
Yeah, he did.
That's true.
It wasn't long. He was knocked out. So I mean, just like the Knicks. Just like the Knicks. I mean, he was just like,
beautiful lying down.
yeah.
Hey, you know, speaking of that,
We're already through 10 games in the season. They're out.
I was going to say, speaking of that, Knicks have been eliminated from the playoffs. I just got it on my phone. The season hasn't even started.
So
But yeah, no, it was just a clown show though, and I mean, like I said, any amount of taking seriously just was out the road for me because of this fight. I mean, it just, again, like I said, when we're at the point where something like this is what is considered boxing nowadays, and this is selling money, people are paying $48 for this. Jesus Christ, Lord have mercy.
Rest
Well,
in peace,
to me,
Indicom.
I kind of look at it when, I mean, I realize CM Punk had a boxing background. Not really boxing background, but, you know, martial arts background. But he came in the UFC and really didn't even look like he should have been in there in the first place. And that's kind of how I felt about Nate being in the ring.
It almost feels like that if we're desperate this much in 2020, we need help. I mean, there must be nothing going on for entertainment. I mean, it's like, man, who wants to watch this hot garbage?
$48 too.
Yeah, it was just like, who
For
can
that
afford
much?
this? I mean, you're not even getting a stimulus check in the last several months to pay for this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just brutal.
Rest in peace paychecks in the comment section below.
Like, okay, for that amount of money, I could get my subscription to World Class Boxing or whatever and watch some old fights between actual boxers.
Yeah.
And have it for the whole year and watch whatever fight I wanted. Instead, I'm going to spend it to watch this joke. I mean, it was just horrible. From the performers to the fights themselves to just everything. I mean, it was just really, really bad. And, I mean, you know, the main event I actually thought was okay, but I mean, again, it's two older guys. They were hugging on each other a lot because, well, Roy was kind of tired, I think.
Yeah.
He was worn out. But I mean, I actually found that to be okay because you know what? How many guys are out there doing it at that age?
No.
So I don't have a problem with that. I'm just like, you know what? Hey, it is what it is. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting greatness, so that's fine. But again, I think there was a grain of salt with it because of the fight before it.
Yeah.
I think after watching that, everybody's like, oh, this is what it's going to be.
So it's
It's,
like wrestling.
yeah,
You already
it's
knew
a,
what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, this is going to be a draw.
yeah, and that's was that what it ended
Yeah.
up being, a draw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snoop was already getting ready for the last one.
Yeah.
Take a little bit of the edge off.
There's so much smoke in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I can say is the fact I keep going back to this. At one point during the Jake Paul fight, Mauro Ranallo, who's from NXT, so you know, cool for him for being on this. But anyway, at one point he had Ray Leonard or whatever, and then he had Israel Adesanya, both former champions, both actual fighters. After the first round of the Jake Paul fight, he said, "So Snoop, what did you think of the first round?" He didn't even ask the professional boxer fighter people. He's like, "Snoop Dogg, what did you think?"
Well, because I don't think this fight was meant to be taken seriously. That's the main reason they were asking Snoop in the first place, in my opinion.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they have to. I mean, seriously,
How can with those backgrounds like Nate Robinson?
No.
Why you really
Those
think,
guys
I mean,
want to
you
know.
really-
How
you
can he
really-
take this seriously?
No.
Yeah, you really think that, you know,
Clown
Adesanya and some of these other guys are gonna sit here and talk like, you know, Jake Paul and Nate Robinson are really having a good fight? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Those people that have a boxing background aren't gonna say, "Oh, wow, this is good boxing."
No, you can't put those guys on the card and expect it to be taken seriously. And that's why I say it ruined it for me. It really did, because after that I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay, this is what it's going to be." And then, you know, going into the main event, I'm thinking, "Okay, well, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys aren't even trying to hit each other. They're just going to be out there collecting a check and just kind of dancing around for 8 rounds." And in some respects, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that became really apparent too when Mike Tyson hugged him in the middle of, I think it was the second or third round.
Yeah, afterwards, yeah.
At
He's
that
like,
point,
"Oh,
I was just
bring
like,
it in."
oh my god, like y'all are hugging enough already.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. I mean, the sad thing is too is I feel like Mike actually really wanted to go, and I just think Roy was just past. He's gone. But I really think that Mike. It'd be interesting. I mean, I'm not saying he could win or anything, but I'm just saying it'd be interesting to see him actually go against somebody worth something and just see how he did, because seriously, he didn't look tired.
No. Like I said before, I think already the way he is now, I mean, he's better than half the heavyweight division that's out there. I mean, if you watch any other pay-per-views or any ESPN boxing, and they go to the heavyweight. I mean, even the champions are ones that are Fury and whatever. Those guys look like bums. I mean, you know what I mean? Compared to what Tyson, could look
back
like.
in the day.
Or even with back in the day. I mean, even now, though, if Tyson was able to get some stamina and see what he can do, unleashed, he might be able. Like I said, he can run into the top 10 very easily.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. I mean, and again, it just. I mean, I hate to go back to it, but it just, as a result of the fight previous, this fight was just like, oh man. And I really think they had an opportunity to do something cool with it. Now, with that being said, I mentioned in the preview, I was like, they could have made this like a one-night only reunion. You see some big names in there, maybe undercard as some young guys, but then you have... I don't know, Shane Mosley or somebody like that who's, again, out of the sport now, but kind of in the same league as Tyson and these guys that were good back in the day. Say, hey, you want to come out for one more match or whatever? They could have done something cool. Yeah. But instead, they're like, oh, let's get Jake Paul and Nate Robinson over there. It's like, really? Are you serious? That's the best you could come up with? But then I heard that they're doing Mike Tyson's League of Champions or whatever. So that probably is what they're doing.
So they'll probably carry on from that, too. And since you guys are pulling YouTubers, us four. Ready, man. I'm ready. Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say, I think I could take on Roy Jones. Shoot.
That's right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're squaring up. Yeah. Get ready for
Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones.
That's it. Let's get a 4-way group hug.
All right.
That's it.
Bring me the money.
Yeah.
All right. Give me my $10 million and I'll leave. That's it.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, though, the best fall of the night was Nate Robinson.
Oh my God, that was
complete. That was beautiful. Do it again.
Yeah, that was so. That was the most.
He got knocked over like 3 straight times.
Yeah.
That
But last
nice.
one was just hot because he was out. I mean.
Yeah, he wasn't moving.
Yeah,
that was a beautiful shot.
It took him 5 minutes to get him in the chair.
Just roll him over. They're like, don't move him. Touch me with that stick, right? Touch me with that stick. Is he alive? You still there? Yeah.
Is you dead? DED?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just crazy. That was like, oh shoot! that was the only saving grace.
Was the fall.
Yeah, because the rest of it was like, oh, there goes Nate again, and
like I know it probably won't happen, but I would really like to see the two brothers just kind of clash.
I think it will.
I would love to see Logan versus Jake. That would be great.
The sad thing is there's probably a market for it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's replacing Jackass. That's the most scene. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. Like, what the hell's this? But throw them out there.
Yeah. No, I mean, and this just goes to show Nate Robinson. I mean, it really showed. And was it you that said, who the hell trained him?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look like he should have. He was. I mean, it was a backyard brawl in New York City out there.
It was like World Star clips.
Yeah.
Exactly. It looked like you had better fights in middle school and high school out by the gym, the monkey bars, than you did with this. I mean, it was just...
Yeah, who the hell was in charge of training that guy? I could have done that. Like Lou Holt says, I don't need to make 40,000 to lose by 40, and that's not what this was. I don't need to make 45,000 to.
Yeah, all you really need to do is just hold him by his forehead and let him swing.
Yeah.
It looked like Three Stooges. I mean, it was just.
And
but like I said, great follow.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's just one of those things where you just look at it, and I mean, even going into it, I was like, oh, great, this is gonna just ruin it. And like I said, the only thing saving grace was we didn't have to pay for it because it came with our television service. So woohoo!
Yeah.
Yay! Thank God. Blah. That's all I can say.
The other saving grace is that the audio cut out during YG's part. At least for me, I was really just fortunate for that. I was grateful.
We can talk over it.
But you could hear St. John though.
I'm good with
Is that
that.
better?
Especially with his flick of his nice little pink coat off to the side. It would nice.
Yeah, right into the fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
He's missing an O in his name. Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Oh, JHN. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
John.
At first, when I saw
I'm
John,
too old
I
for
was
that.
like, "Oh, Lil Jon. Okay, so we're gonna have Lil Jon in here." I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. That's not Lil Jon. That's Saint John, and he's got a Betty, whatever the hell,
Betty
on
Boop.
Betty Boop
That's
on
even
his
older than that.
I was like, "What on earth?"
Oh, was what we were saying after that performance.
Yeah.
Seriously, the only other saving grace that I can think of is just the thought of like Michael Buffer, for instance, sitting there listening to YG perform.
I'll be in my dressing room.
Yeah.
Call me when you're ready.
But just like oh man, that's just a funny image hearing some of this stuff.
You know, as far as the main event goes, I actually enjoyed it. You know, getting to see two guys fight that, you know, during when I was younger. I mean, they were kind of before my time, but you know, getting to see two guys that are big names in the sport go at it. I mean, it's, you know, one in a lifetime for us, because you know,
Yeah.
you probably won't be seeing guys like that out there fighting.
No, because you have
When
Nate
we're-
Robinson and the other guy coming out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
your future.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Brutal.
yeah, exactly. We got frickin', you know, the rematch between Jake Paul, and then, you know, the frickin' idiot afterwards. He's like, "Oh, give me Conor McGregor next, and some other guy. I'll knock them out, and then I'll move on to
Well, all
the
he
next."
wants that is because he can get a paycheck out of it.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like,
Dude.
if I was Connor, and I can't stand that guy, but if I was Connor, I would not even entertain it, because I mean, that's like Eminem responding to Nick Cannon. That's just like, dude, you're just a waste of space. You're not even worth a mention anymore.
Is that you're not on my radar?
No.
No.
You couldn't.
I just sent him a bottle of proper number 12 just for the thanks for mentioning my name, and that's about it.
Exactly. If Connor wants to get in the papers, all he has to do is retire and then come out of retirement for the fifth
Yeah.
time. He doesn't need to do
He
Jake
already
Paul.
did that.
Good God.
He's fighting Poirier.
Yeah.
See, did he?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's
Wow.
fighting Poirier.
Yeah, he's fighting the diamond guy. But, I mean, seriously, I just, like, do not even stoop to that level. And I'm saying this as somebody that does not like Connor. Do not stoop to that level of putting this clown on the same anything as somebody like that. That would be an embarrassment. And truthfully, listen, I've been very critical about this and this whole thing. If these guys just want to fight each other, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like KSI and YouTubers and just these things, that's fine. Keep it separate. I don't want to see these guys intervening, I guess, into the main boxing stuff where it's like, on the same card as, you know, one of the Charlo brothers or Triple G and Canelo, we got Logan Paul and some guy. Keep it separate. If you want to do this charity hibbity whatever, that's fine.
Keep it on YouTube.
Keep it on
That's it.
YouTube. Yeah.
And then calling it like a pro debut too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
While you got him rushing in like this
Making
and
his pro
everything.
debut.
Pro.
Like, because I have nothing wrong with like YouTube fights. Like, I love it. Like, I'm really excited to see Eddie Hall and then Thor go against it. I think it's next year or something like that. But I'm really excited to see that fight. But I don't want to see that in like a pro pay-per-view.
Yeah, no.
You know, like it's.
No, it can be entertaining. It has its lane and whatever. I mean, again, I wouldn't have been upset with it if it was its own thing and you had a bunch of other fights like that. Like, here, like for a while, Soulja Boy and one of the other rappers, I think they were going to have a fight and stuff like that. If you want to have that market of people doing that stuff, great. I mean, that's pretty cool.
You know,
I think that's cool.
But how Nate Robinson looked tonight, just picture him in a UFC ring or something. Oh, God. He would probably be out within
I'm gonna
3
bet
or
on
4
choke.
punches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet out by guillotine.
Guillotine.
with the way
No,
that he was
probably even
running.
before that.
I mean, it almost looks like it's when the initial part of the internet came along, fighting bums, right? That was the big thing. That's what it looked like. It was like, oh, fight bums. Okay, let's record it. Punch out this drunk guy in the corner.
Does it? You know what it kind of looked like to me too? Do you guys remember like those old bully beatdown shows? They used to be on MTV all those times, where they get one cocky guy in there being just like, "Oh, there's no way he's gonna beat me, right?" And then he gets in there and charges like this, and he guillotine chokes him 5 times, and then the whole thing is done.
Yeah,
That's
the
what
thing
it
I
felt
was
like to me.
the thing that I was thinking of is it reminds me of Batman versus Joker's goons, except both of them were goons.
And you can't get any graphics. Bow, boom.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, it just looked like a whole bunch of guys that just shouldn't have been there. And again, I mean, I feel bad. Honestly, I feel bad for the 2 people that let off the card. Because from what I can understand, I think they were actually serious fighters and good fighters. The first fight, Dad watched, and he said it was excellent.
And even the one before this one, while we were trying to get things all set up, saw pieces of it, and actually looked like, hey, there's actually boxing occurring.
And I feel
but
bad.
after that fight, there was no boxing occurring.
No,
after
and
that.
I
It was
feel
just like-
bad for those guys because they're going to be, put together with this freaking clown show. I wouldn't have even signed. Literally, as soon as I heard Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, I would have said, I'm off.
And they're
I
going
don't
after
need
me.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
After-
and they're going after me. Yeah.
Y'all want $48?
Now listen,
No, I'll trash Jake Paul to get 10 million. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna
multiple
say,
millions
who do we have to take
checks to
shots
go
on? Shots at Twitter.
Pro pay-per-view and get my rear kicked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, who do we got to take shots at on Twitter to get in the ring?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's all you need to do anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoot. I mean, Kanye will probably be in there because some dude, liked Kim's picture. So then that'll be the next fight.
Taylor Swift, we can bring that back.
Yeah,
right?
Taylor
For the-
Swift versus
for the-
Katy
for the-
Perry.
for the
yeah.
belt for the MTV award or one.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Kanye was out there.
Oh,
I'd love to see Eminem versus MGK.
Yeah,
That's what I would love.
that would be entertaining.
Yeah.
well, hey, I tell you, at
knows
this
now
point,
these
anything's
days?
possible.
Yeah, it's all
Anything.
about the money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, so it's been a decent sized video. So I mean, at this point, we're really just crapping on
That
it.
trash. Which is hot trash.
Great trash.
I mean, again,
Well, yeah, nonetheless, it was nice to see those guys in there.
yeah, and I mean, again, I would if I was those first 2 guys, I wouldn't have even been upset with saying, hey, we got Mike Tyson and the other guy fighting because they're legends, and it's like, hey, they might not be who they are, but that's amazing that they were both able to go there, go 8 rounds. I know it was short in time, but still, they stood there, kind of like Rocky. I stood face to face. I said, I am who I am. I am who I am.
Hey, you look pretty good for your old age. Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
Bring the belt.
You think that's right? Why you got to stop me from being mine? But I mean, seriously, I wouldn't have been upset by that. I would have been like, hey, those are legends. That's awesome. But throwing those dudes on there, I would have been out immediately. I don't care if it was a title shot. I would have said, hell no, keep it. I'm not doing it.
Like, it was cool seeing him though. Like, and Bennett, you grew up watching him?
No, I didn't.
No.
No, I was saying they were a little bit before my time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was
Like
like, I
they're-
did.
Yeah, he did, though.
I did, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don did.
yeah, no, definitely. If you want to go back and watch old Mike Tyson fights, or
Or
like I said,
Roy
if you're
Jones.
short, don't worry about Tyson fights.
Yeah.
They're real short.
Yeah.
You'll usually only have to go through about 1 round, and that's not even the full round. It's
Hey,
usually pretty quick.
I'm gonna
and
call-
then Roy Jones Jr. is just like you said, pound for pound fighter. I mean, all the way up through Olympics, all the way up to his professional career, and all the weight classes that he's gone through and won belts in. He's just phenomenal, a boxer in his own right. But again, like I said, now they're in their 50s, so
Yeah. And
you
I-
do lose a little bit.
Yeah.
They look great for 50.
Yeah, I was
Can we
gonna
talk
say-
about that?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think this was a black eye on either of their things. I'm like, wow, props to you, man.
Yeah.
Props to you.
And boys will build.
Especially
Yeah,
Mike. I mean, not to say
I
Roy
wouldn't want
was.
to take a punch from him.
No,
I'm
no.
just saying, because I would look like Nate Robinson.
Probably in less punches than Nate.
Yeah,
That's it. But man, didn't Tyson just like look like a rock through the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
dude.
just
looked
stood there
a
like,
beast.
oof.
Yeah. Man, he just looked sturdy through the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Well, and also
Like, that was it.
when the round was over, even though it was like 2 minutes, whatever, he was still like walking around like I don't need the stool
Yeah.
to sit
Yeah.
down, and then he was even actually up on his toes like in the third or fourth round,
Uh-huh.
where he's actually like hey looked like actual boxing where he was like ready to go. I think
Yeah.
somehow they got him to pull back the reins per se, so
Yeah,
he
it
would
felt
kill
like they
him.
were holding back.
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's
but,
with him. So
yeah.
it would be good to see Tyson go
Dude.
off the chain and see what he can do.
What he has left, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and I think, I mean, truthfully, like I said, obviously Tyson, he looked like he was really about it, like he's ready to go tomorrow. Roy, not so much, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, again, he's
Yeah,
over
they're both-
50, and I just respect to him for sticking around. He took, I mean, let's be honest, he took some freaking heavy
Yeah.
body
Yeah, I
blows,
mean,
and
there
he
was
stood
some
there.
shots. Yeah.
He stood there. He took them. So good. Props to you. I mean, I do agree. It looked like they were kind of holding back again, or a bit. But I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be exhibition and whatnot. And after that clown show before it, shoot, I wouldn't have even suited up. I would have been like, screw this. You can play this. If you guys want to see this, buy the new video game. That's what I would have said. You guys want to see this? You can buy the video game.
Although Snoop Dogg's music performance was really good, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was bad.
I enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
was good.
Yeah.
Like it was.
It was almost like a Grammy or something like that. Like, hey, just go out there and do your greatest hits for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was exactly what I was gonna say. It
Take
was,
your victory lap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Smoke a joint and go around, take a victory lap around. Wave to your
Yeah.
fans.
Take your time. Milk it for time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it very much reminded me of like a couple years ago they did this thing with Brooks and Dunn where they gave him like a send-off thing, and then they had all these different people, like not necessarily legends, but great singers in country music, and some legends come and sing those songs, and then by the end, Brooks and Dunn would get up and join them on stage and sing it with them, and so you'd see these never before seen collaborations and stuff. That's very much what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was just like one of those like, oh, here's the, oh yeah, here's lollipop, drop it like it's hot, and gin and juice, and yeah, just keep rolling them through, so.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it worked. In the middle, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem like Snoop actually. I mean, for the most part, it didn't seem like he was lip syncing all that much. I mean, he did a little bit, but a lot of from what I heard, actually, he was, doing the lyrics,
yeah,
and that's something I respect
It's like a
about him
Luke Bryan
because
thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
should be able to do that.
that's just something I respect about him because today's
Something
rappers,
singing.
you're lucky to see somebody not lip syncing. So
Well, or they just go, yeah, yeah, woo! It's like, oh, okay, wow,
Yeah,
great
exactly.
performance. I could do that.
Good night.
I have nothing, like Brian Regan,
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. I'd like to yield the rest of my time to my opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
What I
what-
love too about the other rap artists is the amount of unnecessary fire that they used. Like it. Like
are you
why?
talking about in the St. John performance?
Yes, the amount of unnecessary fire that came in there. And then I love it that Snoop just came out and just a pillar of smoke just on either side. Just came out with a joint, just the chillest thing ever, just right there. Just right there. Just,
Last thing I gotta say, that reminds me of that meme, or I posted a meme a while back that said something about, hey, your boyfriend's a rapper, but how's he gonna pay the bills? And then the girl says, don't worry, his mixtape has enough heat for the both of us.
yeah.
Equals St. John right there. I mean, he had so much fire going on. But anyways, we'll go ahead and cap off the video here. If you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You guys know the deal at this point. Make sure that you check out Dent Sports to my left, as well as Clip Joint to my right, as well as to my immediate right, Tony Deal Aerialist, correct?
Tony Deal Aerialist on YouTube, and then Deal or No Deal on Instagram, which is the main page that I post everything on.
There you go. You heard it here, out of the mouths of babes. So make sure you check out all those different channels, and we hope to see you guys soon in another video where, we're not, trying to laugh ourselves to sleep here. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm Bryson.
I'm Bennett.
Tony.
I'm Nate Robinson.
I didn't know that.